Hello students, today we are going to see the torque slip characteristics of our 3-phase induction machine. So, as I earlier told you that a torque is a twisting force developed on the rotor shaft. Okay. So, here we have our induction machine. Let us consider this as induction machine. The resultant flux in the air gap. So, this is my resultant flux in the air gap. The resultant flux. Okay. The interaction between resultant flux and rotor magnetic field will develop a force that is called torque. Okay, the interaction between our resultant flux in the air gap and rotor magnetic field will develop a force that is called torque. So, this is a twisting force applied on the rotor that rotates the shaft of the rotor. Okay, that is torque. This is the theoretical definition. So, let us see the mathematical expressions to derive torque. Okay, so here the torque is defined as internal or gross. Okay, this is a gross torque developed on the torque. Okay, internal or gross torque developed per phase is given by torque electromagnetic torque. This is our electromagnetic torque. We will be having our load torque. Okay, this is the torque due to the load applied on the shaft. Okay, these two will be opposite to each other. Okay, we are going to supply this load torque with our electromagnetic torque. I will go to discuss later. Okay. So, here, so our electromagnetic torque expression is given by internal mechanical power developed in the rotor by rotor speed in mechanical radians per second. Okay, that means what is the internal mechanical power developed? I have already told you that is a gross mechanical power developed on the rotor, which was represented by. So, let us consider the rotor equivalent circuit. Here, this is this part. This branch of our rotor is equivalent to our gross mechanical power developed. Okay, this is my gross mechanical power developed. Okay, so the torque, the electromagnetic torque in the rotor is given by our gross mechanical power developed on the rotor by our speed of the rotor in radians per second. Okay, so you already know that relation between gross mechanical power output and air gap power. We have a relation between rotor input power is to our rotor copper loss is to rotor gross mechanical power developed equal to 1 is to S is to 1 minus S. Okay, you already know this, right? Rotor input power, which is nothing but our air gap power. This is my air gap power. Okay, rotor input power is nothing but air gap power, which was coming from the stator. Okay, this air gap power is to rotor copper loss is to our gross mechanical power developed equal to 1 is to S is to 1 minus S. So, the relation between our rotor input power and gross mechanical power output is, that is the relation between our gross mechanical power output by our rotor input, or which is air gap power, equal to 1 by S by 1. That means I can write the gross mechanical power output as 1 minus S times our air gap power. Okay, this is nothing but our rotor input. So, I have written our gross mechanical power output equal to 1 minus S times our air gap power. Okay. Okay, I have replaced gross mechanical power output with 1 minus S times air gap power, and here the rotor speed in RPS. Here you can see we have the expression for our rotor speed as NR equal to NS times 1 minus S, right. So, it can also be written in the angular speed, that is omega R equal to omega S into 1 minus S. So, I have replaced omega R with omega S into 1 by S. Okay. So, I can cancel out 1 by S and 1 by S. So we have left with our electromagnetic torque equal to air gap power by speed in RPS. This is in RPS, speed of the rotor. Okay. Here one point to remember is we have a synchronous watt. Here you can see our synchronous speed, omega S is nothing but synchronous speed, which is constant for any machine. Okay, for a given machine our synchronous speed is constant. So, our electromagnetic torque is equal to air gap torque. This is called synchronous watt. That means a 3-phase induction motor is said to be developed 1 synchronous watt of torque if 1 watt of power is transferred from stator to rotor at synchronous speed. That is synchronous watt. That means we are relating our torque with respect to power. Whenever 1 watt of power is transferred from stator to rotor, that is considered as 1 unit of synchronous watt is developed. Okay, whenever 1 watt of power is transferred from stator to rotor, that is considered as 1 synchronous watt of torque is developed. Okay, that is about synchronous watt. Okay, we have obtained the torque expression equal to electromagnetic torque expression equal to air gap power by synchronous speed in RPS. So we are going to derive the torque expression. So I am going to erase this. You have to note down these data for your future reference. Okay, we are left with our electromagnetic torque equal to air gap power by omega s, which is in RPS. Okay, we have to convert this RPS into RPM. For that, I am dividing omega s with 60 seconds. So this will convert into RPM. Okay, and you know our air gap power, which is nothing but rotor input power. Okay, input power, which is I am writing the equivalent circuit of our rotor of our 3-phase induction motor. Again, here you can see it's R2 X2. This is R2 times 1 by s minus 1. This is my E2 and this is my I2. So this is the equivalent circuit of rotor of our induction machine, right? So here you can see the rotor input power expression, rotor input power, which is nothing but air gap power, is given as, we have the expression for rotor input power, that is 3 times I2 square into R2 by S. Okay, this was the rotor input power. So I am substituting the value of rotor input power, which is equal to 3 times I2 square R2 by S by what is the speed here. So I am converting our angular frequency into linear, our angular speed into linear speed, that is 2 pi ns. This is in RPS. Okay, whenever I convert this to RPM, I have to divide with 60. This is in RPM. Okay, so you have to divide with 60 seconds to get the speed into RPM. Okay, earlier it was RPS. So I am substituting the speed 2 pi ns by 60. So I am going to take the 60 to the numerator side, that is 60 into 3 180 by 2 pi ns into I2 square into R2 by S. Okay, so here we have the expression for I2 equal to, which is E2 square, E2 by R2 here. So I am writing the equivalent circuit for our initial rotor circuit. This was the actual rotor equivalent circuit. So I am writing it. That means I2 equal to S times E2 by R2 square plus SX2 whole square. This is my impedance. So this is the value of I2 here. So I am going to substitute the I2 here, which will be equal to 180 times 2 pi ns into I2 is S times E2 whole by R2 square plus SX2 square whole square. This is I2 and I am going to square this. This is I2, this is square. Okay, into R2 by S. Okay. My expression for electromagnetic torque is equal to, here I am going to write the 2 pi ns. So I am going to take the square into the expression, that will be S square E2 square by R2 square plus SX2 square. Okay, my square and root get cancelled and I have left with R2 by S. R2 by S. Okay, this is R2 by S. So I can cancel this S square and S here. So I am left with the expression for electromagnetic torque of a 3-phase induction machine equal to 180 into 2 pi ns into S E2 square R2 by R2 square plus SX2 whole square. Okay, this is the expression for torque, electromagnetic torque in a 3-phase induction machine. Okay, so I have derived a torque equation of 3-phase induction motor in terms of our equivalent circuit parameters. So all these are equivalent circuit parameters. Okay, all these are equivalent circuit parameters except our slip. Okay, whenever we have a slip change, there will be change in our electromagnetic torque. That means if I have a torque at starting which equal to 1, so I will get equivalent, I will not get any torque at the starting. That means at standstill condition there will be no torque in the rotor. Okay, so whenever our slip is ranging from 1 to 0, I will get some slip, I will get some electromagnetic torque. That means whenever our slip is other than 1, we will going to get our torque. So for each and every slip we are going to get our electromagnetic torque. So I am going to draw the relation between slip and electromagnetic torque, that is called torque slip characteristics of our 3-phase induction machine. Okay, so and before that I am going to tell you what is maximum torque. Okay, so how can we get maximum torque? So let me clear this. I hope all are you clear with this thing. Okay, this is the important expression for induction machines. Okay, this is very important expression, that is torque expression of our 3-phase induction machine. Okay, now I am going to derive maximum torque and the slip at maximum torque. Okay, so what is maximum torque? So in order to obtain the maximum torque, we need to get the slip at maximum torque. Okay, first of all we need to obtain the slip at maximum torque condition. So for that I am going to draw the equivalent circuit of rotor again, which is, okay, this is my equivalent circuit of rotor initially. Okay, this is SE2. Okay, so let us apply maximum power transfer theorem here. That means I consider this as load. Okay, this will be my load R2 by S. So in order to get maximum power transfer theorem, our load impedance should be equal to source impedance, right? So that will be R2 by S should be equal to X2. Okay, this is the maximum condition. Okay, so I am considering it as S max. Okay, S max equal to now R2 by X2. So this is the condition for slip at maximum torque condition. So this is the slip at maximum torque condition. Okay, so I am going to substitute the R2 value, which equal to S max X2. Okay, I am going to substitute this R2 in this expression. So we are going to get S max equal to R2 by X2, right? So I am going to apply R2 equal to S into X2 in the torque expression we have obtained. So that will be our T max, maximum torque, because we are applying the slip at maximum condition. So our torque will become maximum torque. Okay, so the T max will be 180 by 2 pi ns into S into E2 square, R2 equal to Sx2. I am substituting R2 in with Sx2. So R2 equal to Sx2 whole square plus Sx2 whole square. So I replaced R2 with Sx2. Okay, now our expression will become 180 by 2 pi ns into, so this will be Sx2 whole square, S into S, Sx2, no, S square x2. So this is S square x2 into E2 square by 2 times S square x square. Okay, so this is just into. Okay, so we can cancel out S square and S square x. So we are left with the maximum torque expression for our 3-phase induction motor is 180 by 2 pi ns into E2 square by 2x2. Okay, this is the maximum torque of our 3-phase induction machine. Okay, and you can also get the starting torque by replacing S with 1. Okay, at starting torque, a TST equal to TST SV equal to 1. So our starting torque will be 180 by 2 pi ns into E2 square R2 by R2 square plus X2 square. So this is starting torque. So I replaced S with 1 at starting. So these are the equations. Here this is the electromagnetic torque with the slip S, and this is the maximum torque at slip S max equal to R2 by X2. So this is the relation for torque, and you can observe that our torque TEM is directly proportional to slip and directly proportional to E2 square, which is E2 square is also equal to E1 square. E1 is due to V1 square. That means our electromagnetic torque is proportional to square of our supply voltage. Okay, our V1 is our supply voltage. Okay, and here let us see the observation in the Tmax maximum torque, that is Emax is also proportional to E2 square. So that is, it is also proportional to our supply voltage, and our Tmax is inversely proportional to 2 times our leakage reactance of our rotor. Okay, here our electromagnetic torque is directly proportional to our slip. Okay, so let me consider our motor. This is my motor. I connected this motor to a load. This is my load. Okay, so I connected our motor to load. So here our motor develops a torque which is equal to electromagnetic torque. Okay, and the load will also the load applies some torque on the motor shaft, that is opposite torque to our electromagnetic torque, which is nothing but load torque. Okay, our electromagnetic torque supplied from the motor will supply load torque. That means our electromagnetic torque should be equal to our load torque for balanced operation. That means the torque required by load should be supplied by our motor. That means the torque required by load is T load, that should be supplied by our motor, that is T electromagnetic torque. So whenever we have increased the load on the motor, our load torque will increase. Okay, so how can our electromagnetic torque will increase, so that they will get balanced? Here I have torque, electromagnetic torque relation with slip. Okay, whenever my load increased, my rotor speed will decrease. Okay, whenever my load increased, the speed on the rotor will decrease because of the load on the motor. Okay, because of the load our speed will reduce. Because the speed is reduced, okay, what happens to the slip? Here our NR increased, NR decreased, that means the rotor speed is decreased. What happens to the slip? Slip will increase. Okay, the difference between synchronous and rotor speed will increase, that will increase the slip. So whenever load increased, our rotor speed decreased. Because of rotor speed reduced, our slip increased. Okay, because of slip increased, our electromagnetic torque will increase. Okay, this increase in electromagnetic torque will balance our increase in load torque. Okay, this increase in electromagnetic torque will balance our increase in load torque. This delta will shows the change in the load, and this is change in electromagnetic induction, electromagnetic torque. Okay, I hope you understand. Whenever there is load, there is increment in the load, there will be decrement in the rotor speed. Whenever there is decrement in the rotor speed, our slip will increases. Due to slip increased, our electromagnetic torque will increase. So this electromagnetic torque will compensate the increase in load torque. Okay, our change in load torque will be compensated by change in electromagnetic torque by change in slip. Okay, so this is the relation between load torque and electromagnetic torque and slip. Okay, so we are going to draw the torque slip characteristics of our 3-phase induction motor. Okay, till now we have obtained the torque equations for our 3-phase induction motor. Now let us obtain the characteristics of our torque slip characteristics of our 3-phase induction motor. That means whenever there is increase in the load, our electromagnetic torque will automatically changes according to the load, and it will supply the load torque. Okay, even the load torque is changed or increased, our electromagnetic torque will automatically increase accordingly, so that there will be a balanced operation. Okay, now let us see the torque slip characteristics of our 3-phase induction machine. So I am writing the torque expression here, which is 180 by 2 pi n s into s times E2 square R2 by R2 square plus Sx2 whole square. This is my torque equation. I am going to write the maximum torque, that is 180 by 2 pi n s into E2 square by 2x2. So these are my torque equations, right? Okay, so now let us draw the torque slip equation, torque slip characteristics. So for that I am going to take a graph between torque and slip. This is my torque. Okay, this is my slip. You already know that slip is ranging from 0 to 1. Okay, slip is 0 to 1, and speed is ranging from ns to, this is my nr, ns equal to 0, nr equal to 0 here, here my nr equal to ns. Okay, so s equal to 1, this is my standstill condition, this is my synchronous condition. S equal to 0 means at nr equal to synchronous speed ns. Okay, I considered slip is moving in this direction from 0 to 1 and the speed is moving in this direction. This is my speed, this is my slip. Okay, initially there will be a starting torque. Okay, this is my starting torque, TST, I consider it as TST. So the graph will be like this. Okay, this is slip equal to 0, nr equal to ns condition. Okay, you can see the torque slip characteristics of our 3-phase induction machine. Here this is the point in the peak is called, this is my maximum torque. Okay, this is my starting torque, this is my maximum torque. Okay, so and you can see the instant at T max occurs on the slip is called maximum slip. This is my maximum slip. Okay, the instant at T max occurs is equal to our maximum slip. Okay, actually the maximum slip value will be 1 by 10 times our slip value, which is 1 by 10 times 1. Okay, equivalent, actually it is nearly equal to 1 by 10th of our slip value, which is 1 by 10 of our maximum slip value is 1, that will be 0. Around that will be 0.1. Okay, around 0.1 of slip we will get our maximum torque condition. And you can see there are two regions here. This is my linear operating region. Okay, here you can see our torque and slip characteristics are linear here, they are linearly increasing. Okay, this is my linear operation, this is my non-linear operation. Okay, this is my non-linear operation, you can see the non-linearity of the curve. Okay, that means whenever we are starting a motor, we will be having this much of torque and this will gradually increase non-linearly and it will attain a maximum torque and then it will comes to this linear position. Okay, after maximum torque we can see our torque is reducing here. Okay, after maximum torque point our torque is reducing to 0. Okay, okay, this is my T electromagnetic proportional to slip here. Okay, whenever the slip is moving from s equal to 0 to s max, our torque is increasing. That means the relation between electromagnetic torque and slip is directly proportional. Here whenever my slip is increasing, my torque is decreasing. That means my electromagnetic torque and slip relation will be 1 by s. Okay, in this region my torque is directly proportional to slip, in this region my torque is inversely proportional to slip. Okay, this is my torque slip characteristics of 3-phase induction machine. Okay, this S max equal to R2 by X2, and in slip ring induction motor you can add the external resistance, that is R2 plus RE. RE nothing but external resistance, RE is nothing but external resistance that can be added in slip ring induction motor. So this external resistance will not change the value of maximum torque, but it can change the point at which our maximum torque occurs. That means our external resistance RE in slip ring induction motor cannot change the value of maximum torque, but it can change the instance at which our maximum torque occurs. That means whenever our S max shifted to this point, our T max will be shifted to this point. That means, so our S max, our T max will shift to another point whenever there is a shift in maximum slip. Okay, due to the external resistance my slip value changed. Okay, so due to the change in maximum slip value, our occurrence of maximum torque point also changes. Initially it was here, it will shift to this position. Okay, our external resistance will shift to the occurrence of maximum torque. Okay, but it cannot change the value of maximum torque. You can see these two are same values, but the position is shifted. Okay, this is about our external resistance that can be added using slip rings in slip ring induction motor. Okay, and one more thing is our T max is inversely proportional to our leakage reactance of rotor. Okay, we are using semi open slots for our induction machines, right? So semi open slots will have medium leakage reactance. Okay, for closed slots our leakage reactance is very high. That means the maximum torque for closed type slots will be very less. Okay, the maximum torque for closed type slots will be very less. So for medium torque that will be somewhat high. For open type, where you will get very less leakage reactance, you will get very high maximum torque. Okay, this is inversely proportional to each other. We can understand that whenever our x2 is low, our Tmax is high. When this x2 will be low, our open type slots will have x2 very less. Okay, that means the open type slots machine have high maximum torque. Okay, so if this is my starting torque, okay, this is my starting torque. If I have load applied on the motor having more load torque, this is my load torque. Okay, this is my load torque. If this load torque is greater than our starting torque, our motor does not rotate. Okay, if the load torque on the shaft applied on the motor is greater than our starting torque, our rotor may not rotate. That means if the load torque is greater than starting torque, there will be no rotation of the rotor. Okay, because we cannot increase the starting torque, so our load torque may not be supplied. The rotor only starts whenever our electromagnetic torque greater than or equal to our load torque. Okay, this is the only condition whenever our rotor rotates. It may be equal or it should be greater than equal. Okay, our electromagnetic torque should be equal to load torque or greater than load torque, then only operation is possible. Okay, okay, and you can increase the starting torque by increasing the resistance of the rotor, that I am going to discuss in the next class. So till now we have done with the torque slip characteristics of our 3-phase induction machine. Okay, thank you.